As promised, I'm back with some Black art history, and today we are featuring this queen, Valaida Snow. So, Valaida was born June the 2nd, 1904, in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and she passed away May the 30th, 1956, in New York, New York. She was known as the Queen of the Trumpet, and also called Little Louis at the Little Louis at the Louis Armstrong. Even he called her that. He said that she was the second best trumpet player. Of course, he put himself as first. Valaida was born into a musical family. Her dad was a minister, but he was also a band leader. And her mom, a graduate of Howard University, she was a music teacher, a professional music teacher. And she taught all of her children how to play multiple instruments when they were very small. But Valaida just picked up. She was a virtuoso. It's just extremely talented, naturally gifted. Valaida played about a dozen different instruments. Besides the trumpet, she could play the bass, the violin, the saxophone, the harp, the clarinet, and so it's like she just picked up. She just had that thing that you cannot buy. By her teens, she was acting, dancing, putting together ensembles, arranging music. She was doing all the things. But she still wasn't like getting high regard. And so early in her career, she met Josephine Baker. They became fast friends. As you know, Josephine also, they're facing racism. It is the U.S. So they both ended up going to Europe. Valaida was traveling very early in her career and was world-renowned for her musicianship, even though she was playing other people's music a lot of the times, because it was what was popular. It didn't take away from her talent or her gift. I did find out that she had a slight rivalry with Ethel Waters, so they both were cast, because she had acted too as well. They were both cast in a play or a production or a show called Rhapsody in Black. And because Valaida, now Ethel was an amazing singer, but Valaida was a multi-talented, multidisciplinary, creative musician. She outshined her, so they had this rivalry going on. But she just continued to push forward. She would come back to the States and perform. She would be traveling in Asia, traveling in Paris, traveling in London, and doing performances all over the place. But unfortunately, she ended up being in Denmark during World War II, while, once the Nazis came in and started taking over. There is some dispute as to whether or not she was placed in a concentration camp, but common sense gonna tell you, she is a Black American woman. Why would they not put her in a concentration camp if that was what they were doing to everybody that was not Aryan? But nevertheless, she spent, I want to say, and I think it's in my note, she spent 18 months locked up, and she was starved. Like she was not given proper nutrition. She was cold. She was sick. So she was very sickly when she was finally released. And she was never quite the same because she had been sick for so long and malnourished. Her lung capacity, because you have to have good chops when to play a trumpet. I played the trumpet. I played the flute. You got to be able to blow. You got to be able to hold your breath. You got to be able to, and she could not. She continued to perform when she came back to the U.S., but she was never quite the same after what happened to her. Never got into the big, she would not speak about the horrors that she faced while she was locked up and detained. Josephine did try to tell her to leave. Her manager tried to tell her to leave. But she was just bound and determined. She didn't think, sometimes when you in your groove, you just, and I feel like maybe she thought she was above reproach, or maybe they wouldn't be checking for her. But anyway, she continued to perform until 1956. She suffered a stroke and she died a few weeks after that. But I wanted to highlight her. Number one, again, music is art. This is Black art history. Number two, you never hear people mention Valaida Snow in relation to her contributions. But she was a an amazing musician. She deserves to be regarded. And I wanted to highlight her because her impact should be known. So I hope you all are still enjoying that, enjoying the black art that I've been sharing. I'll be back with some more. Until the next time, you guys take care and holla at y'all soon. And I think we're going to do Elizabeth Catlett next. I think. We'll see.